What's up, YouTube? I got some amps here. Get your amps here. Get your amps here. I got some harnesses for our amps. We got some more Oh, I'm too zoomed in so you can't even see me. What's up? What's up, YouTube? What's up? We're doing some plug and play amps. So we need the harnesses are in these boxes. We got two for a TL, and we got one for a Honda Element. So we're going to get all these done real quick. Hopefully we can beat the postman. If not, that's okay. We can ship them UPS. I'm gonna leave this right here. What's up? What's up? Sorry I'm late. Just was having lunch early today. Okay, so you guys see what I'm saying. And then I'm gonna put the mic on myself. And then I put the mic up for now. Okay, cool. Swap that. So it looks a little better that way. That looks more natural color. All right, so as usual, 5-channel amps. We gotta prep the wires. That means crimping and stripping and stripping and crimping. Here's our master. And I take some pins, and we're gonna get to work, baby. So for these, it's pretty easy. Yeah, Spark. We were talking via text, and I was telling you that you said do it Monday. That's no problem. I'll take care of it Monday. Hold on, let me just twist this. So yeah, I'll do it on Monday. If I could do it earlier, I'll do it earlier. They might ship it today instead of tomorrow. If they ship it today, then I'll have it Thursday. I could do Friday on stream. I'll start with these. Oh, I need to put this back in the box. Very good start to a new month. A lot of inquiries, a lot of people reaching out. Some people reaching out with issues, you know, just a lot of activity. So October, I mean, not that we had a bad September, but October will be good. Oh, sorry, you can't see this. So I'm just cutting the extra wire off. When you go to crimp these, they need to be a certain length. So they're too long right now. I'm actually going to sit on the stool one sec. Sitting on the stool is just to remind me to move myself, there we go, back, so that I'm at the right height. So then you take this, you load it into here. What do you think? Does it look better with this light off, or should I turn the light on? Come on, let me slide this over. So this right now is light off. This is light on. So what do you think? What's better? Light on brings everything to life, but it kind of washes out some colors, or light off and you get the reflection over here instead as it balances out the whites. Yeah, same. Ha, that's funny. Both said opposite stuff. Yeah, off you can't really see what I'm doing though. I mean, you can kind of see, camera's already zoomed in, but it does look like it's struggling. Yeah, it looks grainy. Okay, I'm gonna put it on. All right, put it on. It definitely makes me wider. Like you see my face, it's adjusting now, but my face was definitely wider before. Okay. All right, so that's good. Those two are crimped, and we got nice crimps. This is what a nice crimp looks like. You see it's on the wire, and it's also around the insulation. That's exactly what we want. It is a little bent though. You see, like it looks kind of like a shovel almost. So we just want to straighten it out a little. Yeah, yeah. So Spark had it right. He said that it's depending on the monitor, and I agree. Yeah, sure. Come on, go outside. All right, we're moving on to the next. Yeah, I get to see. I don't have it up on a phone or anything. I have it up. Hold on, let me myself. No, I don't need to be big. I'm fine that size. I have it up on a small screen within my 27-inch monitor, so I only see like a little bit of it, and that's where I have to try to guess. I guess I should put it on a different monitor, like load it somewhere else so I can see exactly what it looks like. But I don't know, man. It's pretty annoying seeing yourself and hearing yourself talk. Oh, okay. Yeah, so they might just be blown, honestly. Very common, your Honda Civic has no protection for the speakers. So, like, I've seen plenty where the front speakers are blown, rear speakers are blown, and only the tweeter works. And people think it's the radio. It just turns out their speakers were blown. So just take a. I don't remember how the speakers come out. If they have a cover or what, but you might just want to take. Sorry, let me. You might just want to take one out and bench test it. Or if they were working before, then it definitely could be the amp. If they weren't working before, is what I meant to say. Nice sunny day today. I got a lot of orders already done today. But it's just a lot of packing stuff into boxes. I got started earlier today. Yeah, that's good. I got you, Spark. Yeah, it's a good thing you reminded me. I won't make a difference in what I do, but you will have to tune the amp. I'll send you a picture of what the tune should look like. Or I might just do it on stream for you right now when I go to tune these amps. Yeah, they weren't working before. Okay. Yeah, honestly, they could just be blown. Super common in the Honda Civic for the speakers just to blow. Okay, I'll send you a picture. All right, so we crimped those. Now we got to crimp these. Oh, we need bigger terminals. 1 sec. I need 6 of these. Cool. Oh, that looks like that wasn't one of them. So what you saw me crimp just now was all the speaker wires. Now I'm doing the power wire. And this is a big thing. So I'm actually going to swap so I can clip this. So if you're looking for a plug and play amp for your Acura, what's really going to limit you are the factory power lines or the factory power wires. So the reason why the ELS don't have a plug and play amplifier is because since the factory amplifier has to stay there, it's using the factory power line. That power line that's between 20 to 30 amps, depending on the Acura, is not available for you to install a new amp because you have to leave the factory amp in when you have the ELS. When you have a base model, you can use those lines to connect to this, to connect to a new amp, and that's where you can run a 5-channel or a 4-channel amp in place of the factory amp because those power lines are there. The other thing is you can't run a huge amp because you only have 30 amps of current, and that's usually going to fit through this 12 gauge, 14 gauge wire, no problem. Once you start to push it up around 50, 60 amps, you're going to want to go to at least 8 gauge, and then if you're going to push 100 amps, then you want at least 4 gauge, and or if not 0 gauge. And that's why plug and play amps for the ELS system are not available. You always have to run power and ground because the factory power lines aren't sufficient, and also why you can't run a huge amplifier where the factory one is because the power lines there are just not sufficient. Okay, so now let me switch back, and then we're going to terminate this. Okay, cool. Yeah, I keep telling myself, oh, tonight will be the night that I finally get to put hands on the car. Tonight will be the night that I finally get to put hands on the car. And then just we have a really great night of orders. I wish I could tell you I knew exactly what makes people buy stuff, but I don't know for sure because it's very random. Like I do run ads, but like nothing in the ads suggests that people all of a sudden saw a bunch of ads and then started buying because like I don't have a huge budget for ads, so they usually run out before the end of the day. So yeah, I don't know. I do look at where the orders come from, and a lot of people do come from YouTube, but usually the way it goes is people go from YouTube, then they'll go check our Instagram, they'll send a message on Instagram, or they'll leave a YouTube comment. Then they'll probably scour the web a little bit more, and then eventually they come back. So what I'd like to know is what made them make the decision. So like YouTube's usually where you find out or you see it, right? You see someone install it, you're like, oh, okay, so that's how it can be done. Then they'll go on Instagram, I guess, to verify we're a real company or to ask a question because Instagram feels like it's more direct. And then eventually, or Facebook, vice versa. And then eventually, if we don't answer them quick enough there, they'll go email. But if not, if like we're just talking about automation, like them doing their own thing, so YouTube, they'll see the video. Instagram, they go check for real. Facebook, go check it for real. Then I guess they do some more research outside of us, wherever else it is, and then they finally come back and decide to buy. So I'd like to know what makes that decision for people when they're like, okay, no, I am gonna buy this. I think it's just time and research, honestly. Like they just keep looking around and they're like, okay, yeah, like this seems like the best decision I can make. I think that's what it comes down to. I think sometimes it's budget. Like people are like, okay, like I can't buy it now, I have to wait. But it's weird how it'll sync up. Like we'll get, like for example, like the third week of September, orders were very, very low. Like our order volume for that week was low, but then it picked up at the end. Um, so why that weird week? Those are the questions. And I haven't spent enough time trying to find the answers because I just look at like top level analytics. I can't dig in there and watch everyone and see what they like, what their path was, how long they took to check out when they first came versus their last visit, how long they spent on their first visit, etc. That's valuable info because if you can replicate the experience those people's had, you could sell more stuff. Honestly, man, I think just the videos is what sell it. Like you see it being done, you understand it can be done, and then you understand that you can do it easier with the stuff we have, and then people eventually are like, you know what, I don't want to make my life difficult, so I'm just gonna do it. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I agree. I think customer service plays a big part. That's why, like, there'd be more products on our website if I was willing to sell you stuff that I have not tried or have not verified. Like some of the Honda Accord, like the Honda Accord amplifier used to be like that. I didn't really like selling it because I never got to install it myself. But I've gotten now to the point where I've had enough people um, buy it and communicate with them during their installs. I feel a little bit more comfortable because that started off as something that was being sold for someone who requested it. So I just listed it on the website for them, forgot to take it down. Then they told someone else about it, and someone else bought it. And then eventually Google picked it up, and then that's how people started buying it. But the Honda Accord amplifier, I've never installed myself, and I don't like selling stuff that I haven't installed personally because I don't have first-hand knowledge of support. Like some of the things that what I like to be able to do is provide you with like, oh yeah, there's this panel in the way. You don't really have to take it out. You can just twist it this way. And the reason why I know that is because I did that install 10 times, 5 times, 20 times. I'm not reading from some manual, you know, like that you've seen me pull up the manual on stream, and it's not always the clearest indication of how to get something out. So, um, oh shit, I took that out. Sorry. So yeah, there could be more products on our website because I know they will fit and work, but without verifying them myself, I don't like to list it because then if something comes up, I can't help you, or if something is wrong, won't have a easy fix or a quick fix or know a fix at that point to help you. So it's like you're paying me to beta test stuff, and that's freaking whacked. What am I, a software developer? Yes, I actually spent some time upgrading my laptop. Uh, so I think I told you guys last week, um, or 2 weeks ago, or was that last week? 2 weeks ago, yeah, 2 weeks ago, some guy figured out that we don't have that. He figured out that it wasn't. It was a bot. Jeez, I can't talk. All right, 2 weeks ago, someone started spamming our website with fake orders. They were doing it with a bot that did it programmatically, so it was bypassing some of our protection. So I didn't. I before that I never had that issue, so I hadn't set up like advanced bot protection. So I had to do that. So I did that on a Sunday. That required me to make updates or upgrades to the server infrastructure that the website has. So when I was doing that, I came across other things. So Windows 10 is going end of life. They're like offering support, but not really. So you have to upgrade to Windows 11. Um, the MacBook I have, it has Big Sur, and that's like not being supported by certain programs anymore. So like the latest version of VS Code, which is like software to code in, you can't install it. Basically, that Sunday sparked a bunch of stuff where I've been upgrading stuff slowly. So I upgraded my laptop so that I can code in real time, and then I set up a development server so I could test stuff out. So that's coming. I just haven't been able to do that yet, but I've been doing that stuff behind the scenes. I will add that banner. I think it's actually not going to be a banner. It's going to be like an autoplay video that's going to go in the corner, and it'll just start playing with no audio. And then if you click on it, you can come to the live stream. Um, I think a banner is still a good idea. I'm just not sure how to implement it because I can't say, hey, check us out on live only when I'm live because so many people would miss it. So then I needed to go to a page that's like, hey, we go here live sometimes. So I just need to figure out the implementation. So like, I don't know if YouTube has like a standby page where like I could just link to always and my video will go live on there. I think each live generates a new link. I don't know if you can ask for like a standing link that will be, like, hey, this URL always shows this channel's live. And when it's not live, it plays their videos or it just has a standstill or something. I'm not sure. But one step at a time. First is essential security updates. So you can force update your MacBook to like the latest software with following some patchwork. So I did that. So now I have the latest version of Mac OS on my laptop so I can download all the right apps. Now I have to focus on upgrading my computer, like the office computer, to Windows 11, which I really don't want to do, man. Windows 7 was peak, and you can't convince me otherwise. Windows 8 was trash, and then Windows Vista was trash, but that was before 7. So Windows 7, 8.1 was trash. Windows 10 is like, reluctantly have to update, and then Windows 11 is pure garbage. Where if there weren't actual specific Windows applications that had to run, I would never use it again if I didn't have to. I don't understand how you could take something so great from Windows 7 and then turn it into garbage that is Windows 11 now. XP was better. Sorry, guys, I went on a rant there. It's just, I think technology is going way too much AI. It doesn't, like, I wish the bubble would just pop already. Like, it doesn't need, not everything needs AI. And then it's so creepy how Microsoft, like, tracks every single thing you do and then will sell it to anybody. And you can't even opt out of it. And then if you have the home version, they put ads on your face on your login screen, which is ridiculous. I bought this software for a reason. I don't need to be advertised to after I've already paid for something. And then simple settings you could change before, you can't touch now. Unless you like do them via registry edits or other advanced methods that a normal person wouldn't know how to do. I'm telling you, this Windows went to crap, man. Windows went to crap. And then Linux isn't at the point yet where it can help people. Like, unless you're very technical, you're not going to install Linux on your computer. Right, so now I'm just pinning up another Accurate TL. I'm going to do the element last, and you'll see what I'm talking about. So the element and the TL share this same primary plug, but the secondary plug is different, and the pinout's relatively the same, except that one has 2 subs or a dual voice coil sub. So let me finish this, and then we'll talk about that. Yeah, just Windows 10 is trash, and Windows 11 is worse. I wish they made like an enterprise version of Windows that got rid of all the garbage, because it still has the garbage, it's just turned off. I wish you could, I mean, you could make your own version of Windows, like you can strip it down all the way, but you shouldn't have to do that, is what I'm saying. You shouldn't have to do that, man. Shouldn't be so shitty. Green. Green's black. Bruh. Sorry, guys. I was trying to untangle the wires and it just keeps going everywhere. All right, cool. So that's all set. Now we're going to move to doing the power wires. That's red and black here. What time is it? All right. I think we'll beat the mailman with these. Yeah, maybe not, because this is the easiest part. The zip tying is what takes long. We got a bunch of amps, though. After this, we have to do 4-channel amps. That's good. Let's crank this guy up. Oh, hold on. I didn't prep this right. Because these are universal crimpers and not the crimpers specifically for this exact use case, I need to do this first. It's like slide it into, make sure it goes into the right place like that, and then put that. Yeah, that's part of it. They did the whole Windows 10 scare where they're like, oh, you have to have a TPM chip, or is it a TPM chip? Hold on. I want to tell you the wrong thing. I think it's a TPM chip. TPM. Uh, yeah. Yeah. It was like a little chip that needed to be on your motherboard. Otherwise, it wasn't going to install Windows 10. And then they did away with that because people weren't upgrading to Windows 10. But yeah, everyone does that. My wife right now is having issues with her iPhone. She said that after this latest update, her iPhone's running crazy slow. Or like when she's typing a text message, she'll hit the letters and they won't show up on the screen for a little bit. And like Apple has been caught and admitted to throttling phones in the past, and then they said, "Hey, we only do that because your battery's old, so we don't want you to wear down your battery prematurely." So they have done it in the past. So I wonder if that's the same thing or if it's just coincidental. But I think she has like an iPhone, the last one that still used Lightning before USB-C. So like either a 14 or yeah, I think a 14. And now her phone's having issues. All right, so this last one's for the Honda Element. What I was telling you before is that this plug is the same, but the other plug is different. So let me grab one. I got some RCAs. Okay, here's the plug in. All right, here's the other plug. So yeah, like you said, it's just trying to force you to upgrade when old hardware can run stuff fine. Like I think is it Darwin's theory? Someone's theory. I don't fucking remember, man. One of my tech professors used to say it all the time. I don't remember who it was, but basically, like technology is going to come like that, and then boom. I think we're here now. I think we're at the point where like we've advanced as much as we can advance, and that's why every single iPhone looks the same. Like we took it, it happened quickly, but now we're at like the kind of the tip, and like there's not really much more advancement. Like your computer's only getting so much faster every iteration. It's still 10 or 20%, which is a big deal, but in the grand scheme, like you don't need a new computer for 10% or 15% gain. Your old computer can work just fine. All right, so like I was saying, this is the Honda Element plug, and then the Acura TL has this black plug. So Acura TL, these are the 2 amp plugs, and they're pinned a certain way. Honda Element, these are the 2 amp plugs, and they're pinned similar but different. And that's what we're going to get into right now. So I'm going to just make these up real quick. Oh, I ran out of terminals. I didn't grab more. Let me grab them real quick. I used to have a Honda Element. I bought a Honda Element and then never got to do anything with it. I was going to make videos with it. I never got to that point. It was a red Honda Element that I bought for like $1,200 and then sold for $800. What a great businessman I am. But it was just because we were moving. I had no place to put it, and I couldn't bring it with me. So I had to sell it. But I always wanted one. I think they're little cool cars. Very modular and what you can like put in them. So hopefully I'll buy one. Maybe next year. I'm always looking on a marketplace for one, seeing if there's any. They sell for cheap, but they have like a problem with rusting in one particular area that's like critical to the drivetrain. So I don't know if I mean, in Florida, I doubt I'll see that issue, but who knows? We'll see. The next thing I want to buy is a truck. I miss having a little truck. It's always very helpful. So once I finish the videos on the TSX and sell the TSX, I'll buy a truck. A cheap truck, not a new one, like 03 F-150, 02, or maybe a Ranger, a Ford Ranger. We'll see. Whatever is affordable I can find at the time. Yeah, man. That's when it started. And then it picked up fast. We had dial-up internet, then you had broadband. Is broadband same thing as dial-up? Then fiber. Like local networking, 100 gigs, then it went to 1,000, then 2.5, then 5, then 10. There's like legit businesses that run local 10 gig connections between their environments, which is crazy to go from 100 to 10 gigs. It's a lot of video production or large files that really benefit from that. Because little files, you still have to do all the operations. It's really when you're writing a long continuous file where those speeds really like matter. Yeah, I heard that. They still have AIM. They still have mail though. But yeah, they finally shut it down. Man, I remember not being able to be on the phone and on the internet. I also remember those speakers that would let you know that phone call was incoming. I guess they weren't shielded, so they picked up the noise. Those were good times. That makes you think though, are our heads shielded? Do our brains hear that noise also? They just don't deal with it. It doesn't go through our skull. It does. Who knows? Maybe tinfoil hats aren't that crazy. No, I'm just kidding. All right, so I'm almost done crimping these, and then we can talk about how they go into the connector. Hold on. All right, so that one's done. And then I got to go get a wire right after I do this. So I'm going to do that real quick. It'll take me a second. I just need to, I need a jumper wire. You'll see what I'm talking about. Let me grab it. So yeah, I just needed more gray wire. I'm just going to grab, I don't need much, just like this. And then we got to strip both ends of this. Whew. How big was that thing? The size of a freaking brick. 40 megabytes. Imagine that. Nothing's 40 megabytes anymore. Any file has like a bunch of stuff tacked to it. There are pictures that are that big. One picture would fit on that hard drive. It's crazy. Okay, all right. So the big difference here is that on your Accurate TL, you have a single voice subwoofer, which means there's only one set of wires. On your Honda Element, you have a dual voice coil subwoofer. So these two right here are both for the sub. it's very common for people to upgrade their sub in the element and grab a dual voice coil sub that's 2 ohms. So their final impedance is 1 ohm because I believe the subwoofer's final impedance from the factory is 1 ohm. Because of that, when we wire this, we jump it in series to make it 4 ohms. So we go from the negative of voice coil 1 to the positive of voice coil 2, and we do that here at the connector. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. Let me just do it now. So I didn't grab 3. Oh, no, I didn't. So all the other wiring is the same. Well, we're going to match this real quick. So let me do that first. So it's gray, then white, then purple, then green, then green, black. Then on the bottom, gray, black, come on, white, black, and then purple, black. Then the sub on the TL is pinned this way. This would be negative for the sub. This would be positive for the sub. On the element, it actually gets jumped. So this would be this side, bottom and top row are positive. This side, bottom and top row are negative. I actually don't remember which is voice coil 1. It actually doesn't really matter. But you know me and my tism, I have to figure out which one it is, even though it doesn't matter. But it won't take me too long. 1 sec. I'm just looking it up on the computer. Come on. Okay. What the? Oh, I hit the wrong thing. Okay. Sorry. Amplifier audio. Oh, that's whack. All right, let me change to a 2009. Sorry, guys. Here, I'm just going to let you see what I'm doing. Let me open it on here. Okay. What in the world? Okay, there we go. So this is the platform that gives me access to every single car. So Hondas I have to look up on here. So we're going to do a 2004 Honda Element. And I'm going to say it's an EX. And then I'm going to look up the word amplifier, amplifier audio, component connector. And here's my pinout. And here's what I was saying before, that the subwoofer is dual voice coil. You see it says 9 is woofer negative, but woofer 1 positive is 2. 2 is closest to 3. 3 would be the green here. So 1 is woofer 2 positive. Okay, so woofer 2 positive. No, I want to go into woofer 1 positive. So woofer 1 positive is 2. 2 is closest to 3, so that means it goes there. And then that'd be the positive. And then I want to go into the negative of 2. The negative of 2 is 8, which is opposite that. So like this. Okay. So I'm going to jump back to just me. Give me 1 second. All right. So here, I'm wiring this in series where I'm going, the power from the amplifier is going to the first voice coil positive. Then I'm taking first voice coil negative, which is 9, and I'm jumping it to voice coil 2 positive, which is 1, which means it goes like this. And then voice coil 2 negative goes back to the amp, which is 8, which is on the far edge. And that's how this gets wired. And that's why I was telling you this is different. You can see my jumper here is different than the Acura TL because it has a dual voice coil sub. Also, it's not an 8-inch sub, it's a 6-inch sub. And then the green wire is also different. But we're going to do that. Actually, I'm going to do we'll do that next because this one's the latest one. Like, this is what's next in my order queue. So let me just clean up my little area here real quick because it does look crazy. All right, so now we're going to take our RCAs and we're going to pin them to this connector right here. And, oh, crap, I'm dumb. I never did power and ground. So let me do that real quick. I didn't put them in. Yeah, Acura likes to put a lot of stuff in Hondas. I mean, they're the same thing. Overseas, they're just sold as Hondas. Only in the U.S. do we have, well, Canada too. There's other markets that have the Acura brand, but everywhere else is just Honda. Okay, so 10 is going to be positive. Oh, 10 is ground. Okay, yeah, 11. 10 would be next to these two. Okay, yeah. Just making sure I didn't screw that up. Where's my other power plug? Oh, no, I didn't terminate these. All right, let's do that first. What sucks about jumping the sub that way is that they're not getting the full 200 watts. They're only getting, no, wait, they are getting the full 200 watts because it's a dual 2-ohm voice coil sub. So in series is 4 ohms. Yeah, so they're not getting the 200 watts. They're only getting 100 watts. So they're missing out on some of the power this way. But it's going to depend on which sub they install if they do end up missing power or not. But it's still a solid upgrade. I mean, the factory sub gets like 30 watts or 40 watts. And then the rest of the speakers come alive. So far, we've had nothing but good feedback on this. People have liked it. Okay. Excuse me. It's getting hot. All right, red. AC's on? Yeah, AC's on. Damn. It almost feels like it's not. It must be pretty hot outside. Okay, hold on here. Yep. That's positive. That's negative. Okay. Then here we need a blue wire, which I have kept blue wire around. I guess I didn't keep blue wire around. I swore I had put some blue wire to the side for this. All right, well, I found some blue wire. So we're going to take this blue wire, and that's going to be my remote turn on. We just need the pins for this. These are pointy pins, right? And we got some pointy pins right here. Oh, I don't even know what the... Actually, let me check my phone. I'll let you know. I'm not 100% sure. Actually, yeah, it says it's only 85, but in the garage it's heating up. I guess because right now the sun's hitting the garage. Here, yeah, I can't show you. But right, this garage right here, this wall, the sun's opposite and up. So it makes sense it's heating up the garage right now. I need to get an insulation thing for this. Just haven't done it yet. But okay, so we're going to need 8 of these, 9 of these. Eight, 9. And then these are male RCAs because they're going to plug into... Oh, I need one more. I need 5 RCAs. One sec. which means I need to get more pins out. So yeah, so the Accurate TL comes with a harness that's fully set. Like you get this harness that plugs into the car and then into the amp, and then you still get this that plugs into the amp if you want to send signal via RCA. The Element, we don't have this harness for developed yet, so it uses all RCAs. So these RCAs are going to get pinned to this, and then they're going to get plugged into here, and then this little black plug will hook up to your amp. Let's get to crimping, y'all. Actually, this is the wrong crimper now. We need the smaller guy. These you have to be very careful because, sorry, I always do that. When you go to crimp this, there's a little, yeah, the light's not helping you. There's like a ridge here. And if I crimp too close to this side, I'll collapse it and then it won't want to go in correctly. And you really won't get to see what I mean till I show you the finished crimp. So right there, you can kind of see that like right after where I crimped, it sticks up, and you need it to stick up that entire way. All the other, this connector is the only one that's like that. All the other ones have like a little tab. This has like a whole row that you need to make sure you don't crimp down when you're crimping. So that's good. That's good. That up. These I double crimp because I have to start off in the middle row. So I have to start off in that middle one. And then after I do the middle one, I get a nice solid crimp. But then the outside crimp is too big. So then I need to use this last row one to get the crimp to shrink this. I don't know how else to shrink, otherwise it won't go in. Okay, you just gotta define some terms, my man. I'll definitely help you, even though you're the FBI. That's hilarious. What do you mean by system? So like, do you mean like subs? Do you mean a radio? What do you mean by complete system? Just because they mean different things to different people. Like, for example, if someone comes into the store and they have like some sort of old school Cadillac and they're like, hey, I want a system, 9 out of 10 times they just want subs. They just want loud subs. But if you get like a guy in a Jeep and it's like a newer style Jeep, he's like, yeah, I want a new system. He wants like a new speaker system. If you get an older car, like let's say like a 2000 Corolla, and someone's like, yeah, I want a new system, they're usually talking about a radio. Okay. So you want to keep the factory radio. You want to keep the factory radio. You want an upgraded display and amplifiers and all the speakers. Okay, do you have factory navigation? I think you said it was a tech package one, I'm sorry. No, you said it was a wagon. Yeah, so does it have factory navigation? Do you have the screen with the map? Oh, I appreciate that, man. But unfortunately for this system, I think you might be best off going with someone else. Not necessarily like different. Like I appreciate that you want to support and you being here and liking the stream does support. So that's all you really have to do. You don't have to buy anything from me or spend any money. When you say that you want something sound quality, it makes me think, at least in my brain, of like, okay, so if he has a certain sound goal, he needs the flexibility to be able to tune and set up his system how he wants. And like our plug and play options really aren't set up to do that. Like they're going to make things louder, sound better, but I wouldn't describe them as they're going to give you the top quality sound. Um, so you might be, we'll see. We'll dig in a little bit more. So you have factory navigation. Okay. Um, so factory radio, factory navigation. How do you think the system sounds now? Like, what do you feel is lacking from the system? Obviously, you want a new touchscreen CarPlay, that I get, but like from the audio side, what would you want to sound better? Like, you feel like, oh, it just doesn't get loud enough. You feel like you don't have enough bass, or maybe the high end's like really sharp and scratchy. What do you think? All right, in the meantime, I'm gonna pin this real quick. So this has 1, 2, 3, 4 here. That's wrong. Oh, it's I'm supposed to look at it like this. Whoopsie. 1, 2, 3, then 4, 5, 6, 7, then 8, 9, 10, 11, then 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay. So pin 1, which should be here. Then that's 2, that's 3. Then 2 is woofer positive. So we're going to make that white. So that's 1, that's 2. Then 3 is blank. Then 4 is rear left positive. And then 5 is front right positive. No, rear F. You mean FR? No, there is an FR. So it has to be a misprint. That's supposed to be RR. Rear right. Okay, that's fine. Then FL, which is white. And then 7 is FR. Positive. Okay. You can see I didn't put them in all the way. And that's because I'm still trying to figure out to make sure I have them right. So now we're going to do the sub. So the sub says it's 10. So if I'm looking at this, this is 8, this is 9, and then 1 over is 10. So that means it's staggered. Oh, sorry, I got to go this way. Okay. Oh, motherfucker, man. Hold on. So you can see what I see. So this is what I'm following right now. So subwoofer positive is 2, subwoofer negative is 10, and that's what I should have right now. I'm just making sure I'm putting it in correctly. Okay. Then rear left is 12. Rear left negative, which is my next one. 12 is the first space after, right? And that was 10, 11's empty, 11's empty. So 12 is the first space after. Okay. Then 13 is rear right. Oh, hold on. I fucked up. Oh, no. I fucked up twice. Okay. I remember these are staggered, and that's not staggered. So that's how I know that's wrong. Okay, let me put in all the positives because I know all the positives are right. So let me switch back to here. And I'm sorry, FBI. Give me 1 second, man. I just got to get this right. But I will answer your question. Because I think there's a lot of people in your boat, and I think my advice would help multiple people. But 1 second. Let me just stick these guys in here. All right, so all these are right. And then my negatives are staggered. So 10 was kind of below each other, but it was staggered as well. This is going to be staggered like this. So like that's what I mean by staggered. They're down one to the right and one down to the left. Okay, so then if I'm looking back at my diagram, 13 is rear right. So that's my red, and that would be 13. Okay. Then 14 is front left, which makes sense. Okay. I've made this before, even though it may not look like it. I've also verified this pinout online. So I remember that it's staggered, and that's why I knew I was doing something wrong. And what I mean by staggered is if you look at where the blacks are and where the reds are, the reds, there's a space here. So it wasn't staggered. This one, the red would be above and below, the black will be below it, but they're off to the side one. So like here's a positive, and then the negative's down and over one. And I don't know why it does that. There has to be something to it, but that is how I know that I have this correct, because that's how the diagram reads. All right, cool. And let's just verify again. So 1 is to turn on the amp, 2 is subwoofer positive, 3 is blank, 4 is rear left, so I should have a white, 5 is rear right, 6 is front left, and then 7 is front right. Okay. All right, so you have a tech package. It's a wagon 20. Hold on, I just want to tell you all the right stuff. It doesn't tell me, but if it's a wagon, it has to be a 2012 to 14, or 2011 to 14. I'm gonna assume they're the same, but that's when the wagon came out. So if you have the tech package, you can do the 9-inch screen we sell to get the new screen. That feeds audio to the factory audio system. So you still are dealing with the same sound. So then the next step up, I would take it in stages, or if you want to do a whole project, it's up to you how involved you want to get. But I would go front speakers first. So I would grab JBL or Audison speakers, depending on your budget, and go with front speakers first and see if that makes any noticeable difference where you would think it's worth it to do the rear doors and the rear deck. The reason why I recommend that over going straight for an amplifier is just because it's smaller time and money investment. Those speakers will cost you $160, and you can decide from there if it's worth the upgrade or not to do the speakers or to continue. You can do speakers more or then do an amp. If you're going to do an amp, there is no plug and play option. The reason why there's no plug and play option is because the factory power lines are a restriction. You don't have enough power there to hold the factory amplifier and another amp. So you would need to run power and ground for a different amp. If you want to use one of our plug and play amps, you would still need to run power and ground. That's why it wouldn't be plug and play. Also, I don't think that if you have to run power and ground, that the plug and play amp's gonna be a significant enough upgrade if you're gonna have to make that time commitment to run that power and the ground and take apart your car. I think you're better off making an investment into a bigger amp. At this point, then you have to decide, since you have the wagon, you have those rear speakers that are 3.5s that are more like tweeters. So I guess you could get away with doing a 5-channel amp, because then you could leave the center on the thing. Yeah, so it's up to you. Then the next decision you need to make. So let's say you do the front speakers. You're like, yeah, speakers aren't enough. I want more. I need louder, better, whatever it turns out to be. You have to integrate into factory radio. So you could go line out converter or DSP. I would go DSP, and then you can choose like bullcrap amps that just put out power. So you get like SCAR amps, or you can combine them into both and get like a simpler install because you're running less wires. Something like that. I'd look at Audison, JL, your top other brands are going to have good choices. I'll give you an example of a customer I just spoke to and what they're going to get. So they have a 2018 Acura TLX with nav. So they have the ELS system just like you. They have pretty much the same setup. They have a center speaker, tweeters, door speakers. Rear doors are 3.5s. Your rear doors are 6.5s. But then your rear pillar speakers, since it's a wagon, are 3.5s. And then you have a sub. Your sub is powered though, so that's something else you're gonna have to determine if you're gonna try to bypass the sub internally or run a different sub altogether. That's gonna be a little bit tricky for the subwoofer, depending on what you decide to do. But I'm gonna show you the amp he's going to buy. So he's getting a Kicker 7-channel amp, uh, and this is what it looks like, and this is how much it is. So this is just the amp. He hasn't bought anything else yet. So if you're willing to make an investment like this, then hey, more power to you. Some people are not. But this will do 125 by 4. So that means this is going to power, sorry, I want you to see that. This is going to power your door woofers, front and rear door woofers with 125 watts, which is more than enough power to blow any speaker you really want to blow up. So that's going to be super loud. And then it does 65 by 2, which will do the tweeters. In the TLX, which is different from your car, is the tweeters have separate lines. Yours doesn't have that setup, so you will have to run power to the tweeters yourself, or use this for the rear pillars and do components in the front. It's going to be up to you, but this is versatile where you'll get less power output for more delicate speakers, either those 3.5s in the front, or you can go active and power your tweeters. And then the big thing is he wanted a lot of sub, so this does 700 watts times 1 ohm, which is crazy. Like 700 watts into your factory enclosure is going to blow it the hell up. It won't work. But you can scale it down. So if you do a 4 ohm sub, you can get only 300 watts, which that's manageable into a little 8-inch or something. So this is the reason why he's thinking, or the reason why we decided on this, because we were talking about it, is because this has high level inputs, and it has, not, I wouldn't say advanced, but it has enough capabilities for you to tune it the way you want. So the high level input is going to eliminate the need for an LCI or LC7I or something like that. You can just run the output of the amp straight into this thing. So you're getting rid of an LC7I, which saves you like 250 bucks. So then it comes with a regular bass knob, but then this is the controller that lets you set it up. Five Star has a good video on them setting one up with this. So it's a 5-Star Car Audio. You can look it up on YouTube. They did a review of this amp. I want to buy one so I can mess with one, but they're expensive, man. But it's not even that big, and it can do a lot, and it does a lot of power. So I think this might be something you consider. He was also looking at the Audison, because he was thinking, hey, I'm going to do the whole system. So in that case, I was like, okay, maybe you consider this guy, which this does 8 watt, this does 90 by 8 at 4 ohms, but you can leave the factory rear speakers. So then that brings the amount of speakers you need to amplify down, and you can leave the center still, and then you can bridge the sub channel, so you could use it kind of like this. Is that described as bridged? If you bridge 7 and 8, yeah, 2 ohms, you get times 4. Yeah. So you get 280 watts out of channel 7 and 8, which is 300 watts. So ultimately, it breaks down kind of like the Kicker, but it gives you a little bit more versatility in case you want to do every single speaker, because this will do the 8 outputs completely, which is what you would need to do every single speaker in the car. And this is a full DSP, and it has speaker in as well. But this gives you the power of using a DSP to sum everything and do everything together. This would be like your high-end choice. The Kicker is more straightforward and easier to install, I think, because you're just matching wire for wire, at least in his TLX. So he found this on eBay with an amp kit for, like, look at that price. This is $949. He found it on eBay with the amp kit for that. Where the hell is the eBay listing? Let's look it up on. Actually, I'm just going to look it up on eBay. Yeah, so look, here's the deal he showed me. He's like, yo, look at this deal. So he gets the amp and a complete amp kit, 0 gauge, which is pretty expensive. I think they're like $250 for the amp kit, everything included. And they're an authorized dealer for $949. So that's not a bad deal. If that's too expensive, then you can choose to go like LC7i, LC8i actually. Well, no, because you're going to leave. This is assuming you're going to leave the center and the rear speakers, those rear tweeters, on the factory stuff. So you get yourself an LC7i, that's 129, and then you get yourself the Stinger 5-channel. And this is 200. This also has high level in, but I don't know how good it is. So you could possibly get away with just this amp and not the LC7i. But just that's 350 so far. That's not bad at all, and you can make power. I think this does, is it 65 or is it a true 100? One sec. Come on. Where are the power ratings? So this will do 75 by 4 and 300 by 1. So you are making less power, but I mean, this is a lot cheaper. And in this setup with the Stinger amp, you're going to amplify your front door woofers, and you need component speakers so that power gets to the tweeters. Then you're going to amplify your rear door speakers. Your center and your rear pillars are going to stay on the factory amp, and then you also get how much power for the sub? Like 300 watts, 500 watts, 300 watts for the sub. Why can't I not get rid of this thing? That's so dumb. Oh, you could get 700 watts at 1 ohm. That's pretty good. Or at 2 ohms, 500 watts. So yeah, so you have choices. It's how much do you want to have to install? Really what it's going to come down to. So I hope I didn't confuse you. I hope that actually helped you. But yeah, there is no plug and play for your car, unfortunately. We used to have a plug and play option, sort of, where we connected everything else for you. It was this amp. So this could also be a choice for you, but we can't buy it anymore because it's on back order. Oh, hold on. Sorry. I put it in the wrong thing. So this was the amp that we were making a plug and play one with. But we can't buy it anymore. It's on back order. So you're on your own. Those are your choices. We do have the amplifier integration, which is what you're going to use to wire this amp to your factory system. So that you will have to get from us. And that's going to be under shop harnesses. And then you're going to come down to amplifier and speaker harnesses. And then you're going to come down to this guy right here. And then this is the harness that you'll use. And then there's a video right here that shows you how to hook it all up and stuff. So it can get pretty involved, man. I hope that information was helpful and not just made you kind of spin your head. But if you don't want it to be expensive, it's just going to be more time consuming because you're going to have to run more wires. And the mailman's here, so I got to open this up. Yeah, man. Oh, thank you. Thank you. You're right. Every month is when I put in all my pickups, and I didn't do it. You too. And I'm gonna go put them in right now. I'm gonna go put in right now. So, right here. Yeah, man, we're lucky that he came because I did not put in the request. I forgot. It's October 1st. On the 1st of every month, I put in all my requests for pickups so that they come every day. Otherwise, if I don't put that request in, they won't come. Yeah, if you take it step by step, like I said, start with the speakers. See if that's enough of a subtle upgrade. For some people, it is. Sometimes your front speakers are blown or your tweeters are damaged, and they're really ruining your audio stage. Because really, like most systems, people don't want to tell you that because they want to sell you a bunch of stuff. But like most systems are really just your front speakers that you hear the most. Like the rear fill from the rears, you rarely hear it. So like if there is a problem with those speakers, you'll rarely notice, but the front speakers you'll definitely notice. That's why I'm saying upgrade the fronts first. And then if you like how that sounds, the rears could help. They couldn't help. Some people who build like sound quality systems don't even run rear speakers. But if you want to achieve loud volume, you want those rear speakers because you want them, you want that extra wattage, that extra power. But all right, guys, the mailman took that stuff, so we got to ship all this UPS. So I got to hurry my ass up. All right, well, I'm almost done. This was the hardest part. Now I have to connect it to here. Oh, God damn it, I didn't label them. Hold on, guys, I got to label them real quick. Let me flip this. I just joined. Do you recommend upgrading the battery and the alternator for the kicker amp? For what kicker amp? Did I miss a message? No. Okay, what kicker amp are you talking about, Beats? Yeah, correct. Because don't get me wrong, if you do it all at once, you're definitely going to notice an improvement, but there might have been some money that you didn't need to have spent. I think that if you're looking as an enthusiast and you want a project, then it's worth it to spend the money and do it and give yourself something to do. But if you're like legit trying to get an upgrade or the most for your money, then taking it one step at a time makes the most sense. Did I did. Motherfucker, which one was it? I need to stop cursing on stream. Sorry, guys. I just hate when I screw myself up. There we go. Okay. I need to remember. I don't remember which one's which. And I need to label them. These are my ghetto labels right here. My Sharpie onto. But it does the job as long as the person knows what it is, you know. So on this one, we're writing sub. And then on the next one is rear left. And then on my next one is rear right. Then after that is front left. Then after that is front right. Even though these aren't labeled, which is kind of silly, but these go by color. So here, there's no 1, 2, 3, 4 or labels. The labels are on the side of the amp. But on this, white is front left, gray is front right. So we could just start with that. This is an industry standard thing. So that's how you know, or like someone would know, even though they're not labeled, because these colors are used all throughout car audio. All right, cool. And then we got sub. This has a dual sub input, but we only have one sub. So I don't need to go that crazy. Yeah, sometimes my wife will catch things that I didn't catch. Like there was a live stream where you see my butt crack. I didn't catch that. I don't know if anyone else caught that, but she did, and she was like, "You need to take that down." And I was like, "Oh, yes, I will." I can't edit the live streams after they're posted, so I just have to take them down. I mean, I could download it, edit that out, and repost it, but I don't know if I would do that for a live stream. Do you use an SPL meter when balancing with pink noise? Nah, man, I don't get into a lot of that. Um, Tuning that heavy. So like a lot of our tuning software based, like I'll be able to hook it up to a machine. So like for an SPL meter would be like someone actually trying to hit a certain uh like threshold, and that's not really something that I deal with a lot. Like we're not gonna like, oh, let's tune your system so that it burps 150 on the meter is not something that I do. I think I've ever done. So if I'm gonna set the gains, I'll either use an oscilloscope or I do have a DD1. Shit, where is it? Do I still have it? Hold on. Shit, I still have it. I haven't used this in forever, bro. I bought this thing for $400, and I rarely ever use it. But yeah, I do want to pick up the live RMS thing. I forget what it's called, but their tools are so expensive, man. But it's good to have when you're really tuning a system to, you want to make sure there's no distortion to max. But even still, like, to be honest with customers, when you tune their system, like when someone knows about subs or they think they know or they have installed subs or they've done something in the past, they don't want you to tune with tools. They want you to tune to what they think sounds good. Because I'll give back someone, like, this has happened various times when I used to have an install shop. You would install subs, you would tune it with the DD1, make sure there's no distortion, set their EQ how they want, and make sure there's no distortion. And then you get back to their car and they're like, I just feel like it could go like, is like, that's really the loudest it can go. Is that the hardest it can hit? And you're like, yeah, like those are the subs you bought. That's how it pairs up, blah, blah. And they're like, but can we just tune it a little differently or can we get it just a little bit more? So they always just want more. So even when you tune it to be safe, they still want you to push it. But no, I don't. I don't even have an SPL meter. Okay, so now we're going to hook up our blue wires, and then we're gonna add a bunch of zip ties, and then it got crazy hot in here going. So let me get rid of this zip tie real quick. Okay. All right. All right. YouTube, I love to. I would. I love to. I hate to leave you with stuff unfinished. I feel like that's teasing you to like not finish it on stream. But I do need to get off stream. I need to just focus on the work. So I will see you guys tomorrow lunchtime. Have a great day. Have a good dinner. Get some good sleep. And then I will see y'all tomorrow. All that's left, this amp is done. These are the connections. All that's left is tuning the amp and doing all the zip ties. But yeah, I will catch y'all tomorrow.